representative. We're going to announce your name, please, and grade.
Joy Destiny.
And senior?
Huh? Senator.
Pardon me? Senior?
Oh, senior, yes, sorry.
Thank you. Welcome. Well, Mr. Superintendent, we got a lot of people here tonight. Is there a reason for that?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight we have our spotlight on excellence summer mathematics. Mr. Mayor, I have to tell you, usually I'm not able to lay claim to a favorite committee member, but now that Joy has joined us, you are officially my favorite committee member as our lone student representative, so welcome. I will yield the floor, Mr. Mayor, if you're okay with it, to our Chief Academic Officer, Robin Desmond, to facilitate us through the Summer Mathematics Certificate Awards. And I want to welcome all of our families and students. Congratulations on a job well done. We're looking forward to awarding you your certificate for the summer's work. Ms. Desmond?
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Boyd. Today, we're going to honor our students in our elementary and middle schools who completed their summer mathematic challenges. This year, we asked students to solve mathematical problems, maintain copies of their activities and their recording sheets, and submit them to their math resource teachers at the beginning of the school year. And so tonight, we're going to honor 3 students from each school, and we will be providing them with certificates of achievement and gift cards to Barnes & Noble. So in just a few moments, we will be calling up our students.
Thank you. What do you want to do? Okay. Just tell everybody.
We're going to give a gift card. So at this time, I'm going to call each school and the students that have achieved the certificate from the school. If we could just hold our applause till the end so that every student can hear their name called. From the Bailey School, Marin Kay. Nathaniel Ung. Valentina Villa. From the Bartlett School, Dyson Kim. Mila Pove. Annabelle Sun. From the Butler School, Chloe Dodge. Alajani Kiones Uk. And Merluno Silva. From the Daily School, Noah Florence. Elena Sim. Sadavi Pun. From the Greenelm School, Margaret Noy. She's not here. Evan Yadel Ramirez. Oh. Sapani Tess. From the Lincoln School, Amira Hardin Settles. Calvin Nee. Aliyah San. From the McAuliffe School, Josue Chevalier. Nathaniel Ortega, Peyton Stone. From the McAvenue School, Dimitri Acevedo, Destiny Lee, Sophia Mao. From the Moody School, Maddox Chan, Trishna Karki, Biban Supa. From the Maurice School, we don't have them. From the Maurice School, Charlotte Barrick. We don't have the difference. Nevaeh Guida. Nathaniel Nanthevong. From the Merkland School, Marley Altador. Janae Santiago. Melinda Took. From the Pawtucketville School, Avery Gomez. Riley John Pierre. Tepe Ramsey. From the Pine Arts, Anastasia Aponte. Lucas Lopez. Morgan Smith. From the Riley School, Tyler Durkin. Isaiah Bermudez Pop. Casey Sullivan. From the Robinson School, Corey Nadeau King. Princess Nemely. Elizabeth Tomeo. From the Shaughnessy School, Kyle Broder. Ava Kapala. Skyla San. From the STEM Academy, Noor Elbuhas Bala. Timothy Mendez. Jaslyn Silvera. From the Stocklosis School, Kaylee Lopez. Da Taylor. On 2. Kaylee Lopez. From the Sullivan School, Ruby Lynn Lopez. Aiden Mejia. Anaya Wilson. From the Wang School, Mark Ferreira. Christine Graham. Lanakai Mahoney. From the Washington School, Renal Chim. Julianne Fox. Ejiro Nu Sume. And that concludes our summer math recipients. At this time, we'd like to ask our committee members to come up front. If we could have all of the taller students come to the back, and then our smaller students in the front, we're going to take a group picture.
Where are we taking pictures here? Last time I stood up here, not this time?
Quân không có ở Linh. Không qua quay cái ta đi.
Oh, thank you.
Hello.
All right, principals, thank you for joining us. I can't recognize you all by name, but thank you, principals, for recognizing your young people, and thank you, parents.
Okay. Take your time. I just want to make sure you're okay. Okay. She's okay, guys.
How you doing? I just take a picture, yeah. No.
Oh, didn't you tell me less is more? What's that? She should be right up. She didn't say where she was, so I'm assuming she's coming back. Are you kidding me? That is. Thank you for that.
Well, you can be we have one empty chair. I turned the microphone on so that way they can catch me on television.
All right, thank you. Ms. Desmond, thank you for a wonderful program. Just so people know, I mean, it's very warm in here, so some of the children were melting, including me. But that was a great program. Thank you. Now I want to go into the acceptance of the minutes. Approval. I need a motion to accept the placement and file the minutes of the regularly scheduled meeting of October 2nd, 2019, and the special minutes of the Lowell School Committee on October 2nd, 2019. I need a motion by Ms. Doherty, seconded by Mr. Dakota. Thank you. Regarding permission to enter, Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you. Contracts are in the board packet. Recommendations approval as written. Cabinet is available if any questions.
Any questions? Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Mr. Dakota, second by Mr. Hoey. Roll call.
Miss Nutter? Miss Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Nutter?
Yes.
Mr. Maris?
Yes.
Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
Miss Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
7 yeas approved.
Thank you. We now go into motions. The first motion is by School Committee Person Dominic Lay. Ask the superintendent to develop a partnership with the Greater Lowell Technical School to afford students to learn a trade while attending Lowell High School. Need a second by Ms. Doherty. Mr. Lay?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This motion came about when I have learned that there is such a program that students can attend regular high school program in the morning and would be able to bus to a technical school and learn a skill, hands-on skill in the afternoon. And I found out that Ms. Desmond has been working on it already. And so I don't know if superintendent if she's ready to
we have to
give
leave
us
the
the
doors open.
update, or we should
We have
wait.
to leave the doors open by law. Thank you. I know, I understand. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir. So I'm just wondering if we should wait till the next meeting to give us update, or she already have something to inform us at this point. So, all your superintendent.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, Ms. Desmond has been in conversations. Ms. Desmond, are you prepared to give a couple of sentence update, or? Mr. Mayor?
Yes? Okay. Are we all set?
So there is currently a planning grant available for schools to apply for, public schools to apply for, to collaborate with vocational technical schools to provide a hybrid program that would allow students to complete their required high school credits along with doing a part-time vocational program where they could earn vocational certification to enhance their abilities to be employed after high school.
Mr. Dakota?
Am I thinking that your request is pertaining to current, say, Lowell High School students being able to take a course or so just on Carpentry 101 or Electrical 101, just to get that as a certified program, but be able to take a course, an after-school course, not during the day type of thing? Is that what your response was?
As I understood, it would be part of the regular school, and DESI would approve it, that when the student graduate from this program, this hybrid program, they would get the credit as a high school graduates. And yeah, very interesting for students who wanted to go to the technical school, and now they have a second chance to do that. And from what I understand, Ms. Desmond, you could correct me, is that the money is grant money, so it's not taken away from Chapter 70 or anything that we have, would be an extra funding for the program.
So at this point, there is an opportunity to apply for a planning grant to be able to plan the program, and then the opportunity would be available in the spring to apply for an implementation grant that would support the implementation of the program. So what it would require is us looking at students perhaps having a shortened day where they just took required courses in their junior and senior year, and then would be transported to the Greater Lowell Vocational School to take vocational programming to earn credentials in a track. So, for example, this exists in the state already, and in some other districts where students are able to complete like a machine shop track or a technology track. And so we would examine what track would be most marketable to our students. We would start with one track, and then as the year continued, and if it was successful, then we would explore additional tracks.
All set, Mr. Dakota? Mr. Nutter?
My understanding is this has happened down in Lawrence, where the current educational leader now for the state, where he worked, he implemented this program. Students, it's a very intense program. The students, as Ms. Desmond said, they're in school at getting their required core curriculum until, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Then they would go out to the vocational school and be out there for another 4 hours. So it's a long day, it's a long program. If we were able to do this, again, from talking with a couple VOC members, and I had a call into the assistant superintendent, Jill Davis, out there. This could be a program that, if we did get students involved, could actually pay for itself because we would be able to then, from a financial side of things, the student would be reclassified as a technical Chapter 74, correct? And that would get us an additional $5,000 per student. Now, to roll this out with this grant money that is available, it would be done slowly. It would only be available the first time to about 20 students. And it is a big time commitment. The caveat I found out about this was that to be able to at least get the grant to start looking into this, it's something that has to be done almost immediately and before we meet again. So if Mr. Lay would have no objection, what I'd like to do is put in a substitute motion that would authorize the superintendent, pending review of the city solicitor, to enter into a memorandum of understanding to authorize a partnership with the Greater Lowell School. So my understanding is if we got this first grant, it would allow us to do planning so that you could then apply for that second grant to get the funding and possibly, you know, next year have an opportunity for 20 students to begin a program.
Do I have a second for that? All right, by Mr. Hoy. Mr. Lay, are you comfortable with that?
Sure, I don't mind.
Mr. Hoy?
Dominic, I think it's a great motion, and I think Jerry's amendment is a good one, too. I think we have about, they tell me 70 to 75 students that they couldn't fit in the high school. I think, in the Lowell Trade School, Greater Technical there. I think Lowell High has about 600 kids that need this. So any movement toward this at all, I think Jim Leary was trying to do something with the Minuteman Trade School out there in either Bedford, I think it is. I'm sure he was trying to do almost the same type of thing, get kids out there, because there wasn't any room inside the Greater Lowell Technical High School. So I like this motion, Dominic. I think it's good, and I think the amendment's okay, too.
Thanks.
Just for the record, I tried to initiate this with Mr. Collins when he was superintendent at the vocational school, because it really was the natural thing to do and the right direction to go in. But the thing is, it was funding. I mean, we just could not get the funding and the approval issue. I mean, with the state, we could do it, but the thing is, it based on funding. So with this approach, with Desi, I mean, it's only natural. It's about time that they finally came to their senses to approve something like this, because Mr. Hoey is correct. There are a number of students who want to go out the voc because of discipline type of requirements and things like that just could not get into the vocational school. They come into the high school, they don't get a full satisfaction. So this idea of the high school and the vocational school working together for a common good makes sense. So it's a good motion, and I think it should be looked into. But just for, I mean, there have been attempts, but it always came down to money, and it shouldn't come down to money. Grants. Anything else on that matter? All right. You all set, Mr. Nutter?
I believe we need a roll call.
You don't really have to just approval, but the thing is that we'll have a roll call if you're asking for it. Roll call.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Nutter?
Yes.
Mayor Samaras?
Yes?
Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
7 yeas, approved.
All right. Another motion by Mr. Lay, ask the superintendent to collaborate with the city recycling department to develop a curriculum that teaches our students how to recycle and the environmental benefits of recycling. And second by Ms. Doherty. Mr. Lay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It just by accident timing, yesterday the legislature at the State House, they were talking about plastic straws, recycling, and even State Senator Ed Kennedy had a UTEC representative to educate Massachusetts how UTEC has been doing a great job about recycling mattresses, etc. And support it or not, the recycling and the plastic straws, all of those has been the State House people have been paying attention to it greatly. And so when I came up with this motion because of since the summer, I watched a LTC video about a couple of city employee went around this recycle on the trash collection day and look at the recycling bin and found that so many items have not been recycled properly. And I also have learned that over the summer that the city was fined with because we didn't recycle properly. So it came down to education. Even somehow I feel that I am a guilty party of not recycling properly. And I feel that not too many of us know how to recycle. And how do we educate the public how to recycle? So I thought if superintendent don't mind finding time to maybe have the city educate our children on a slow day, if there is one, to teach them how to recycle properly, and maybe in the future they can be taking initiative to teach their family how to recycle, and hopefully that helps the city as a whole. So I'm looking for if my colleagues here would feel that it is a good thing to do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, and I think it's a great idea. I just want to add that I had a motion, I think it was back in August, asking for a report about our environmental sciences curriculum, and the note says we're going to be getting information on that November 20. I don't know if this would be too short of a timeline, but to just fold in Mr. Lay's motion, to be able to report out on that at the same time, I think would make sense if that, works with the administration. But I wanted to look at what we were doing overall for environmental sciences, K to 12, and certainly recycling falls into that. But Mr. Lays was speaking specifically about partnering with the city, which mine didn't have that component, but I just wanted to throw that out there because I think it would make sense to talk about it together. Thanks.
And just a correction, the city hasn't been fined because of that, but the city has been charged much more money because of the problem. So it's not, the companies don't have the right to fine, but what they do have the right to is raise the rate considerably. And this is costing the city of Lowell quite a bit of money for just doing the wrong thing. So I think this is a good motion and should be looked into. I mean, if the children support this, it goes through the House. So it's a natural habit, just for correction, okay?
Thank you.
All right, next motion by Mr. Hoey, request the mayor ask the city manager to provide the committee with a report on the status of school crossing guards, including positions are fully staffed and the feasibility of extending their working hours in order to control pedestrians at a designated school crossing while children are going to and from after-school programs. I need a second by Ms. Doherty. Mr. Hoey.
Thank you. Recently, just the other day, I stood out on Boylston Street from 7 a.m. to 9:20 out in front of the Pine School, just to see what type of job they were doing. Crossing guard was there, police were present on Boylston Street, and they didn't leave the 9:20. Great job at the Pine School. I went over and I watched the McAvenue School this past week. Mammoth Road looks a little dangerous to me. It's just really congested with a ton of traffic. And now that I'm standing out there on corners, I notice so many people are on cell phones. I see a lot of children riding their bikes to school nowadays. I've run into a few situations that they have these larger bikes, not like the bike I had when I was a kid. We had these little Stingrays. Now they got like 20-inch bikes. And these kids can do wheelies on these things. I've seen them coming at me right in my car, right in front of my van. There's a lot of dangerous situations with bikes with children that I've seen in the past week. And Mayor, I really feel between a certain time of the morning, like, let's say 8 o'clock. Actually, let's say 7:30 to 9:30, I think the city council should be trying to slow this traffic down. 30 miles an hour limit is fast enough. Boston does 25. I'd like to see Lowell do 30. We got people doing 60, 65 on Boylston Street. I've witnessed it, Mayor. We got to do something before too many kids are going to be hit by by cars. So I appreciate my colleagues just supporting this motion. And all I'm asking the superintendent to do is get with our chief of police and ask him if he has, are they up to snuff with all their help? I don't believe all schools are getting there on time, like the Pine School. The police was there. McAvenel, again, wasn't doing well. Wang looked good. I didn't do all the schools, but just watching the way they're driving on Boylston Street and Rogers Street, cars are going too fast. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
I mean, you raised some issues. Would you want to have somebody from the police department to
No,
make a presentation to the school committees?
That'd be fine. I think a little report from the chief of police to the superintendent, just to make sure all your schools are, I thought 9:20 at the Pine School was okay. If you left at 9:10, that last 10 minutes, there's some of the kids that are rushing. And to cross Boylston Street, if a cruiser leaves there, that's a very dangerous street. Now, I got this idea actually from Councilor John Leahy, because Andover Street, he's seen some lady with about 4 or 5 kids almost get hit. So he called me up yelling, put a motion in. I said, okay, I'll put one in. Well, I seen it with my own eyes, and I really think, and I'm not saying the cars are all breaking the law. I've seen a lot of people that ride the way that they should, but the majority, they're on too many cell phones, they're eating food, they're not paying attention. I've been witnessing it quite a while in my life. And you're talking to a guy that's an ex-cab driver and an Uber driver. I drive basically really bad, but there's a lot of people just like me out here, so I think we need to shake up something so no one gets hurt. That's enough, thank you.
No, the thing is, a number of us on the council have especially talked about Andover Street, but you're correct. Boylston Street and other streets like that, front of the McAvenue, there's a lot of issues out there. So with this motion, but I'll follow through with the chief to see, making a direct report to this committee, okay? Next, by School Committee Person Nutter, request a financial subcommittee meeting Wednesday, November 6, 2019, to review first fiscal quarter. Need a second by Mr. Hoey. Mr. Nutter?
I think we made a policy last year that we were going to do quarterly reviews. So since this is the end of the first quarter, I just thought it was time to meet and review.
Okay, thank you. Next, another motion by Mr. Nutter and Mr. Dakota, doesn't need a second. Request Lowell High School Subcommittee meet to discuss possibility of adding a community service requirement for all grades to count towards graduation. Interesting. Ms. Nutter, you have the first.
This actually came through former school committee member Kim Scott, who reached out to me and asked about this, and then I think she was on City Life with Mr. Dakota. But back in 2014, Steve Gendron brought in a motion requesting the school to implement a community service element. And then he switched it to, his also included doing a citywide community service day. To my knowledge, a community service element has never been added. I think the result at that time was there was no way to really quantify, who would do all the follow-up. Since then, many smaller communities have a part of community involvement as part of their curriculum. So when Kim brought this up to me, I said I would bring it forward.
Okay. Mr. Dakota? Then Ms.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think if people are thinking about, some kids have jobs after school and so forth, when are they supposed to be able to accomplish this? Well, in many cases, a lot of our students take care of siblings. To me, that's community service right there, taking care of your brother or sister, or multiple other people, even dog sitting. It's still all part of community service, and so you can attribute that as part of your commitment, and I think it'd be a great thing to instill into our students, that giving back to the community aspect of all of our responsibilities. I think it's a great asset to our community, to our kids. Thank you.
Ms. Martin, then I'm sorry, Ms. Martin.
I agree. I think it's a great idea to be able to build this into our curriculum, into our expectations for our high school students. I can recognize that it can be very complicated for some students, and I think that, you know, we already have some. I mean, our National Honor Society students, they have a service component that's part of their commitment already. I believe the Compass program also has a service component to it. I'd love to be able to kind of give the high school the opportunity, working with central administration, to develop something that would let us take next steps. I think we have some things that are functioning at the high school in this vein, but I think the idea of kind of building upon that would be, I would recommend as the kind of approach for this. Let the high school drive it so that it fits within kind of their, you know, their world. Again, with strong support from central administration, but I think that it's the kind of thing that we should kind of look at over time before we make something a mandatory requirement. I think we'd do well to hear from students, from teachers, from administrators at the high school as to how they'd like to see something like this implemented. I think overall here in the city, we are very committed to community service, and it's certainly an institutional value for our district. And anything we could build that could support that and lay the groundwork for our students becoming lifelong contributors to the quality of life here in the city or wherever else they may go, I think has huge value, so I certainly support that. But I'd look forward to hearing kind of how the high school would want to build it into their world in a seamless way.
Mr. Lay, Mr. Nutter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Similarly, I have a similar comment as Ms. Martin, that I want to hear what the staff at the high school think, because our school student bodies at the high school, they may have some different families, some different background. But I know that many students are already volunteering, so that should not be a problem for them. And I know, like Boston Latin, they have so many hours for a school volunteer, and then so many hours for community volunteer hours before they graduate. So maybe we can do something similar, or just use either or, you know, volunteer in the school or volunteer in the community, and in that way, students may find it easier for them to get involved. Thank you.
Ms. Doherty.
I just wanted to point out that that's one of the reasons Mr. Dakota and I recommended to send this to the Lowell High School subcommittee, so that we would get the high school input, you know, from the staff, from the students, because it is, as Mr. Dakota's pointed out, there's a lot involved in it, setting up the criteria and giving as much room as possible. Neshoba, my daughter went to Lowell High for her freshman and sophomore year, and then she switched to Neshoba for her junior and senior year, and they have a 10-hour requirement and for each year. And that's all the kids had to do, and they had to have, wherever they were doing it, sign off. So getting high school input and making it as wide as possible. Boston Latin allows the kids to do work in the school, as Mr. Lay mentioned, up to a certain amount of time, and then after that they can do it out of school. So there's a lot of things we can incorporate and view it as largely as possible, but we thought that high school subcommittee was the place to begin its work.
It's appropriate. Ms. Doherty?
Thank you, Anna. I guess I think it's a great idea to encourage, support, promote, provide opportunities for our students to get involved in community service. As Ms. Martin said, it's long-lasting. The thing that's causes me concern is making it a graduation requirement, because I'm thinking about the many students we have who are struggling just to get to school. So I'm open to start with the subcommittee, that forum. I believe I'm actually on the Lowell High Subcommittee, but I really do want to hear from the high school how to do this and do it perhaps without making it a high school graduation requirement, just because I don't want to add another burden to so many of our students who, you know, don't have the transportation or the time or the wherewithal to add one more thing. That's just where my concern is, but I'm totally in support of the impetus. So I think that starting with the high school subcommittee would be a good place to start.
Mr. Hoey?
Thank you, Mayor. Through you to Joy down the end there. This might be something you can go back to the students and talk about. But pretty soon I'll be 65 years old, senior citizen. What do you think about going and rake my leaves and cutting the grass before you can graduate? And I just do want to add this. Miss Doherty said to me we should get you a nameplate. So, but we want to hear what you think about this motion for sure. And if you have any words tonight, go ahead.
I think it's a good idea because National Honor Society and some clubs require this. So I think it's a great way for students to involve themselves in the community. But making it, I agree with someone over there that it's, to make it a graduation requirement, it might be hard for students to do because, yeah, the transportation and...
No, thank you, but just, Mr. Dakota?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Some of the other groups that also do a lot of community involvement that Ms. Martin was referring to, Junior Razzi proudly says they 10,000 hours of community service. I mean, that's phenomenal. I think we could be tapping into that resource basically and say, how do you keep track of that? How do you manage it? How do you get the kids to get involved in that? And I think that, like you said, the subcommittee is the place to have that done. Have those people come in and share their ideas.
And Mayor,
Sorry.
thank you. One thing I would like to say, I think something that we could get a lot of the seniors involved in is helping out with your Rockin' Fest for the holidays, like on 12/12. You could get a lot of kids involved in that somehow. So that's a great idea. It could help us out with that this year on December 12th. And they might be, if we push it a little fast, we might be able to get a lot of help from the students for
That's thinking out of the box, but actually, Mr. Dakota, you did allude to it in a sense of there are many ways to have this type of involvement, and it can be done even within the families. I mean, because sometimes there is a real need and there's a sacrifice made by many students to take care of siblings and, you know, all of those type of issues. And the idea of making it mandatory, it's not so much mandatory where you're never going to graduate but I think the more the school goes in a direction of teaching each student to be involved in the community and go beyond themselves is a great lesson. You know, I mean, many of you know how to do that, but I think we have to offer the opportunity to everybody, not just National Honors, not just ROTC and certain type of clubs, the Lyceum and things like that. I know it was done in the past. So it's a good motion to think, but the thing is, you're right, bring it to the high school subcommittee and deal with it. Okay, thank you for that.
Can I have a point of privilege, just a point of clarity? If we adjust graduation requirements, it's for the incoming class. So whatever the graduation requirements are at your point of entry to high school is what they remain through your graduation. So I just wanted to clarify that for our student representative as we're gaining feedback. Nothing will ever change for you in your graduation requirements. It would be for our incoming freshmen forward if the committee were to make a decision to alter graduation requirements. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
That's correct. Okay. And soon to be done that way. Okay. Thank you. Next, we go to reports of the superintendent. Budget update, Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you. This is our monthly installment of our update on the budget. I'm going to yield the floor to Chief Financial Officer Billy Joe Turner, who will provide a brief update to the committee and then stand for questions.
The business office update includes contract issues, year-to-date budget report, fair student funding, retirements, and bad bill updates. When we contract or when you're making a purchase, you have to make time to both procure and contract. This could take up to several weeks if you're a new vendor. To avoid these weeks, we try to and procure and contract upfront. If we know that we use the vendor every year, we try to do that upfront. But when you get a new vendor, we have to go through the bidding process, the Chapter 30B process, which is under 10,000, use best business practice. Between 10 and 35,000, you have to obtain 3 quotes. Over 35,000, you have to do an invitation for bid or a request for proposal process. When you do that, it takes up to 2 weeks. You have to advertise for 2 weeks. You have to prepare the documents and all that. But the contract itself could take a couple of weeks. You have, if you look on attachment A, it takes 10 signatures and 10 different moves for a contract to get executed. This is very time consuming. The reason I'm bringing this to your attention is because we're facing issues that could cause us to have some liability. There are 2 issues that we currently face. One, when we enter into an out-of-district contract, a student has to wait until that contract is executed. You have to get a contract before you can, start services. So sometimes if they move a child into a new program, they need to get the child in there as soon as possible, but it may take us 3-4 weeks if we're waiting on their board to approve it or get a signature, things like that. So we met with the city solicitor and she gave 3 possible improvements. Those 3 improvements would be to allow us to use a scanned signature from the vendor allow us to move forward with the scanned signature. 2, to ask the school committee to vote to delegate their authority for approving contracts to the superintendent when it comes to out-of-district contracts so that we don't have to wait. If we get a child tomorrow that needs the services, if we go through the process of permission to enter and then this long 10-person process, even at the end of it, we have to wait until the next school committee member to get your votes. I mean, not your votes, your signatures. So if you vote to delegate your authority to the superintendent, that would be a major improvement with timing. And the third is to create a standard contract form that we could give to the out-of-district vendors up front, and they could change their rate, scope of services. They could customize it as the contract process goes on. So that's the issue with out-of-district tuition, students and contracts. The second issue that we're facing is the contract, going into a contract process after services have already begun. Because of the new McVinney Bento and the ESSA foster care laws, along with SPED regulations, we have to service students. One agency could place a child, DCF could place a child in a program that we're not even aware of. This child may not be one of our students. We may have fiscal responsibility because one of the parents lives in our community. So we may find out 2 months after the fact that one community has been servicing our student. Again, contract law would want you to have the contract before services begin. Well, this is out of our hands. So we met with the special ed director and our student council to find out what can we do to minimize it at least. And we came up with an idea to do a watch list. So during the month, we're going to prepare a watch list that we can share with the city solicitor to keep her updated on possible situations that we may face, and a notification system where once we get notification from DCF or any other agency, he will immediately notify me and I'll immediately notify the solicitor. So those are the 2 issues with contracts. Any questions?
Ms. Martin?
Thank you very much. On the second scenario that you spoke of, would you be the person getting the initial contact from DCF?
No.
Okay, so there'd be other staff within the district who are more connected with actual students.
Exactly, and that's part of the problem because there's so many people involved. They have best interest meetings, where we have possibilities, but we can't go into contract with 3 possibilities because when you contract, you have to allocate the funds for that. We can't tie up $150,000 because there's a possibility of the child going to 3 different places. Mm-hmm. We could have a student that could be in one place, and if the child's not working out there, they could move that child tomorrow. Well, we didn't know. So if we move the child into an existing program, we're fine. But if we move that child into a new program, again, you have to go through the procurement process, you have to go through the contracting process, and it could take a long time. So again, the reason I brought this up is because we could face compensatory services and other liability if we don't service our students. But we are working with the solicitor and other departments to try to minimize that risk.
And I think we can certainly, get get the recommendations from the law department, about this kind of subset of contractual challenges that you have. I think for myself, I would want to see what that recommendation is before I'd even consider abdicating responsibility for having to sign off on contracts. We have an established protocol, we have an established system. I can say without question, it has been incredibly helpful to us to get that information even in terms of special ed contracts. It's the way this committee learns how much we spend on this effort to provide students with what they need. And I think that's how we get the information, and it's important for us to remain in that loop. And I think also just, in general, the contracts that we're asked to approve and then sign off on, they can reveal a great deal about the inner workings of the district that we don't get any other way. So I think, I'm certainly willing to consider what the law department may be comfortable with, but those would be the kind of concerns I'd have, kind of if we were going to be talking about changing that policy. So I think that would be, kind of the kind of information that we need. Thirdly, I understand that there is a delay. It happens. This body only meets twice a month, and that can certainly be a challenge. But that is not a new challenge. I mean, and I think that, once the body has voted on something, I would like to think that if these are, again, kind of unique circumstances, once we voted, we can sign that night. So you wouldn't have to necessarily wait for a full month to go by before we'd get it back for us to sign and fully execute it. I mean, if you know that these are specific circumstances, if we have the contract here on the night we vote on it, we can sign it that night and cut down on the timing. So I'm certainly willing to make adjustments to help the system and to help things move through quickly, particularly in these circumstances where a child's education is at stake. So I mean, I recognize the seriousness and the commitment that we have to all of our students, but I do think that keeping in place the supports and the kind of information structures that we have in place, I would want to see those protected as much as we can.
Anyone else? I just want to say I agree with Ms. Martin. I mean, the issue is the needs of the students come first, but also this school committee is required, and what we do and what we're responsible to do is watch the money. And we've been put in a position where sometimes we were not able to see this, and we got ourselves into a mess. And I don't want to see that happen again. So we have to monitor this carefully. But there are different ways. The superintendent can work with the school committee in such a way where if something was needed, that could be addressed in many different formats, and it could be handled immediately, but still giving us oversight, which I think is very important. Okay. Mr. Superintendent?
I have to say thank you because the school committee does attend. They do come down and help us the last couple of times we've faced this situation, and they would come down and sign for us before the school committee meeting. So, there are ways around it. It was a suggestion for improvement, and I wanted to bring it before you. So if no more questions on contracts, I can move to the year-to-date budget report. So the year-to-date budget report is included in your packet, and it was requested from the auditor, but we have an acting auditor, and I have access to the same report, so I put it in there so that you could review it. It's sorted by DESE function code. I'm working with the acting auditor to clean this up so that it mimics the actual budget book. For instance, technology staff. Technology staff, in the budget book, they're listed into the 1400 series for, administrative support functions, but in the Munis report, it's under 2450, which is computer teacher function codes. So we're actually cleaning that up, working together, doing that. We have no concerns with spending this early, so I have nothing to point out except that on page 15, there's $2.9 million in this school committee suspense account, and that will be moved on this week's transfer. That's just moving the money to all of the places that we've already voted, all of the new positions, all of the school site budgets, and it includes a couple of changes. If we had a grant that came in and funded some of our clerks, then I can move that money from the general fund account. So that's the year-to-date budget report. Any questions? Okay. The most important piece this week is the Fair Student Funding update. I just wanted to let you know that the RFP is included. Page 14 through 16 would be the most interesting part because it has the scope of services. The bid due date is November 4th, so it's being advertised now. There's approximately 2 weeks for a contract period, so we're hoping for our initial meetings to start in November with a consultant to help with Fair Student Funding. The next one is retirements. I just wanted to point out that attachment D shows that our budget buster, the sick leave buyback account, now has 25 formal retirement notices, and that equates to $745,000 in sick leave buyback. So at this time, we're not worried. Any questions?
How much did we budget? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
How much did we budget?
1.2 million.
Thank you.
And just for the record, because we now have a formal notice system where we are tracking this each time someone gives their notice, we actually figure out what the liability for that person is if they did not use another sick day, so that we have this running total for you each time. So you'll always know whether we have a concern or not. And the next section is on bad bills. And I wanted to point out that, as you said about contract timing, this has been an ongoing issue all along. We will always have what's called a bad bill. They're really bills from previous periods. We will always have them because if they do a cutoff point on July 15th, they have to close the book. So if they do a cutoff on July 15th, even if we had services that ended on June 30th, if they invoice on July 16th, and we receive it a few days later, it's now considered a bad bill, even though we didn't do anything. It's just part of the process. We do have some that are bills from 2 years ago that someone just showed up and said, hey, you never paid this. Maybe an auditor caught it. But those bad bills are currently being processed so that we can bring them in front of the city council. It equates to $51,868. What we are doing now, the city solicitor realized that not only do I have to certify that, to the best of my knowledge, the goods and services were received, but that the vendor needs to do the same. So we worked on a draft of a certification statement for the vendors that's going out to all of them now. So we're hoping that the city council will see these bills within the next week or two. And last but not least is the end of the year report, the end of the year financial report that summarizes all that we did last year, all the spending, all the revenue. That has been completed. I will prepare that with a memo so that I can make it user-friendly for the next meeting.
Ms. Doherty?
Thank you, Your Honor. Since we're talking about DESE and budgets and finance, I don't know if my colleagues saw the article in the Globe today that the state of Massachusetts is being sued by a handful of people, I guess, regarding special education money that came from the federal government that was supposed to be distributed to special education students, even if they attend private schools, if they have special education needs. And many of the districts were listed in the article as not complying with this federal mandate. And I was just wondering if we have an update of how Lowell stands in terms of those special education federal money. And
in the permission to enter today, there are 2 for non-public private schools. We definitely allocate the funds. We set aside the funds in our title grants for the non-public. So that's definitely, we're abiding by the rules.
Excellent. Because they had, some of the cities listed millions of dollars that they have not been providing to their students who go to parochial and private schools. And I'm so glad that we're not in that situation. Thank you very much, Ms. Turner.
Ms. Martin?
Can I ask, and this is really curiosity, I'd heard, they had it on the radio this morning too, on NPR. I'm curious, when we're looking at, say, a parochial school located in Lowell, which is obviously welcoming students from other communities who may not necessarily have, certainly Title I. I mean, they would still have the special ed requirements that would need to be addressed, but would that be funding coming from those sending communities?
I believe so.
Okay. It'd be great to, because it's an interesting idea when you think about, you know, the number of students who are coming to Lowell for those institutions. There aren't a lot in the surrounding community, so obviously it would be Lowell mainly. But to ensure that those, you know, that's being borne by the sending community as opposed to Lowell. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Doherty?
I just want to, I had a different understanding of that, so I think it would be really important, just for us to know, to clarify, that if you have a student, they might not live in your city, but if they're attending a parochial school in your city and they require special education services, but that's just my take from the article, so I'd love to get that clarified. But the great news is that we've been providing those funds to the students, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
All set? All set? Okay. Reports on motions, Mr. Superintendent?
Thank you. Again, this is in your packet. I appreciated Committee Member Doherty's reference to the notes in the packet. Everybody who has submitted a motion, has a seconded motion, should have found that motion in the table. Within the table, if all you're referring to is the hard copy, I would direct the school committee members to the electronic copy. You have linked in memos. If there's a link to the memo that provides you detailed reporting on your motion, if that report does not meet your needs as a committee member or your desires or intent of the motion, please let us know. We will update that, but this is an attempt to provide a better document and running log of the motions and the responses to motions. So if it's not improving the process, please let me know. This was an attempt to improve the process based on informal feedback from committee members through the first couple of months that I've been here in Lowell. It was an attempt. We can certainly revert back or change it again, but please look on those links, click on those links, and it also gives every committee member equal access to the responses to motions. In a couple of cases, the motion responses may have referenced identifiable personnel or student matters. Those would be provided under separate cover as a result of the prevailing law. And if you see that note in there, please let me know. We can make arrangements for you under the guise of your committee member role to have access, but we can't provide that information in public forum.
All set. So I need a motion to accept the report of the superintendent 7-1 through 7-2 as a report of progress by Mr. Lay, second by Ms. Martin. All in favor? Thank you. Home education, I need a motion to approve by Mr. Cotto, second by Ms. Doherty. Roll call.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Nutter?
Yes.
Mayor Samaras? Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
7 yeas approved.
Under new business budget transfer, I need a motion to approve the budget transfer of $1,039. A motion to transfer by Mr. Nutter, second by Mr. Lay. Roll call.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Nutter?
Yes.
Mayor Samaras?
Yes.
Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
Ms. Lay? Mr.
Yes.
Lay?
Yes.
7 yeas approved.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the budget transfer of $4,018,539.40. Need a second by Mr. Dakota. A motion by Mr. Dakota, second by Mr. Nutter. Roll call.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Nutter?
Yes.
Mayor Samaras?
Yes.
Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
7 yeas approved.
And I need a motion to approve the disposal of surplus equipment by Ms. Doherty, second by Mr. Hoey. Roll call.
Ms. Martin? Mr. Nutter?
Yes.
Mayor Samaras?
Yes.
Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
7 yeas approved.
I need a motion to take and approve all 3 conference requests. By Mr. Chacotto, second by Mr. Hoy. Roll call.
Ms. Martin? Mr. Nutter?
Yes.
Mayor Samaras?
Yes.
Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
7 yeas approved.
Thank you. Do we need a roll call? Yeah, we have the roll call. Okay. We have communications, upcoming community forum, Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you. I'm going to pass the microphone over to Chief Equity and Engagement Officer Latifah Phillips to share with you our upcoming open community forums. We have 3 of them scheduled. I do invite all committee members, encourage you to please attend, please join. Same opening message in each forum, but we get different feedback, different thoughts, different questions, and have different discussions at each. So we scheduled them intentionally in different parts of the community, assuming that different communities, different neighborhoods might have better access, easier access to different locations. But that doesn't mean as committee members that you can't come to all 3. I will tell you, I will be at all 3. Ms. Phillips, can you share details with the committee and public?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Mayor, school committee members. So there is a flyer in your materials, and there are 3 dates.
A flyer that was expertly designed.
Do you all have that? Are you able to read yours? Because mine is not legible. Okay, so mine is in black and white. And I'm not able to read the dates and locations here. But it is, the first one is October 21st at the Robinson Middle School. The second is October 28th at the Sullivan. And the third is the October 29th at the African Community Center. And so one thing I do want to note is that we will have childcare provided at all of these convenings, and that interpretation is provided for our high incidence languages, but also if someone requests interpretation in advance, we also can make available an interpreter for different language communities. We're also happy to schedule additional convenings. So if anyone reaches out and says, there's a particular community that we'd like you to come and meet with, and we'd like to participate in bringing that group together, we're happy to come to meet in smaller groups. I have been a part of meetings that were in apartment complexes and homes and other places that it doesn't have to be at the school building. It can be anywhere where communities convene. So I did want to put that out there that please do reach out. We do want to make sure that we're hearing a broad array of voices. We selected these 3 locations to try to begin to initiate these conversations, but we recognize that these 3 are just a starting point.
So I made a joke up front because I learned upon appointment that I'm also the chief graphic designer for this organization, and I have no prior training in graphic design and had no awareness that I was the chief graphic designer for this organization. So if any committee members bring that particular skill set, there is no budget allocation, there is no pay, but we will gladly accept your volunteer hours. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. At this time, I'd like to give you some information. The City Council will accept all the applications for the candidate of vocational school committee person. It will end this Friday. We will meet on Tuesday to discuss a day when the school committee and the City Council can come together. So I'm just asking, what's the will of the school committee? Would it be the following, that Wednesday if the City Council can make it, or would we want to do it on the following week on a city council day at the beginning or the beginning of a school committee meeting. Any discussion on this?
So, I'm sorry, so which week do you think this would happen?
Well, the thing is, some wanted to have the vote on the 22nd, but we closed off applications. The one thing I want to do is make sure that we get out as much information as we possibly could to the community, that there was a position, namely position of school committee person, taking over for Mr. Booton, at the vocational school. It's been a busy time, but the thing is, we'll have the application, we'll close this Friday. Tuesday, the city council will discuss, direction they want to go in. I want to be able to say to the city council that the school committee would meet, say, the next day on Wednesday, or a separate day, or the following week, have an early meeting at 5 o'clock before the city council meeting, or Wednesday, have the city council come into the school committee meeting at 5 o'clock, something like that, to get it over with.
We don't have a meeting that.
We don't have a
So you
meeting.
don't have a school committee meeting?
Right.
Yeah.
Just inform them about that. Mrs. Doherty?
I was just speaking with my colleague. We have a lot of debates coming up next week,
Yeah.
as I'm sure the city council does as
Correct.
well. It looks like the 23rd is open, right? Wednesday, October 23rd, which is the day after your
The
council.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays, have been open for those because of the city council meetings and the school committee meetings.
Right.
So the
So
debates
the
are either Monday or
23rd could
Thursday.
work, or the 30th. Those are the two Wednesdays, unless there's,
Or the 29th.
Yeah, what about
So either the Tuesday or the Wednesday of the next week, according to mine.
We could do it before the city council on the 29th.
Right.
The 29th.
yeah, I think that one of the candidates is going to be out of state.
So 29th,
Or the 30th.
30th, or 30th.
That, those days.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why if we could do the 23rd, it might be.
That would be fine for me, so.
And on the 23rd. Okay.
And we'd have the candidates come to speak, that would be the night we'd have them
And-
come
and
to
what-
present to
What
both.
I'll ask of the candidates is that they'll come in, they'll be allowed to give a statement, and then any school committee person or city council would be entitled to ask a question, and just open general. We've had sometimes where it goes down and, 15 people ask questions, or just if you feel that you need to ask a question, okay? Is that your approval? Okay. All right, I need a motion to recess and enter an executive session for the,
To
pardon?
accept this and place it on file.
What?
You need to accept it and place it on file.
Oh, this here. Okay, not a simple statement, so we need to have a motion to accept this and place on file by Mr. Nutter, second by Mr. Hoey. Motion to recess and enter an executive session for the purpose and discussion of LSA collective bargaining update on negotiation and consideration of memorandum of agreement. UTL collective bargaining update on negotiation and consideration of memorandum of agreement, of which public discussion could have a detrimental effect on the city's position, and adjourn from executive session. I need a motion to go into executive session by Mr. Nutter, second by Mr. Hoey. Roll call.
This is getting into executive.
Ms. Martin? Yes. Mr. Nutter?
Yes.
Mayor Samaras?
Yes.
Mr. Dakota?
Yes.
Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Hoey?
Yes.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
7 yeas approved.